What's up, friends? So I'm hanging here. I figured why not make a little video, say hello, update you on the unexpected that has been unfolding for me in the last week. And yes, I'm sipping this last bit of iced coffee and it's like 7:30. So anyway, I'm here hanging out at my hotel and I want to share just like some craziness that has happened, but I think it's good to share. And the reason I share all the things are because, people learn. We learn from each other. And I like to share the good and the bad because it's all one, right? In the law of oneness, like there is no good or bad. It's just all unfolding and it's all part of the whole. So I want to share the good and the bad as we perceive it and let you know what's going on. Because a lot has unfolded in the last, week, especially in the last few days. And I've had to really flex my faith muscles. I had to really put in that, that work that I talk about doing all the time. So anyway, my friends, I will share that. And I want to share this. I don't know. So I'm at this hotel. You see the sunset going down? It's so pretty. It's over the river. So interesting thing is right next to where I'm staying, there's this bridge that like thousands of bats fly out from every single night. So people like line up to go out there and like watch the bats. So it's kind of cool. That's what they're out there doing right now. So let's talk about this. First, let's talk about the good news, right? And then I'll talk about the bad and then I'll tell you why I think it's still good. So here's the deal. So yes, I had an amazing breakthrough month in my business, in my income. And the funny thing is, I wasn't even planning it. Like there's times where I have a launch or I have an idea and I'm like, this is it. This month, I'm going to hit $100,000. And then I don't. And then I'm like, man, kind of bummed about it, Then I have to talk to myself and say, well, it's inevitable. It's coming. It's going to happen. And, that's what we do. I did that with my first $10,000 month. I did it with my first $20,000. I did it with my first 30. And then I had like a $76,000 month once. And that was at the beginning of this year. And then I was like, where is this $100,000 month? The funny thing is when I stopped being that way, it actually happened, right? So like I always talk about being detached. So this last month, actually 2 months ago, I was just like, I felt like my business was changing a lot and I was changing things and I was like, I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. I want to do more of this. I want to try that. And I made so much space in my business where I was really only having like one day of phone calls. And then I got to the point of having like 1 or 2 calls in the whole week. That's it. So I was in more of a creative, playful mode and allowing myself to listen to what was the next step. And then as I was listening, I realized that I was meant to be doing something different. Now, I want to share this for you ladies because I used to be in a space of having a lot of male mentors. And this is no dig at the men because men are amazing and we got to get what we get from that masculine side of things and also like just the way that men approach things in life. But when you're a woman, our bodies are built a little differently. I remember I shared this in a Tony Robbins group once, and I met a lot of women this way because I just shared, we are built differently. And because we're built differently, we're not meant to be doing the same thing every single day at the same time of day. Like if a woman wakes up every morning at 5 a.m. and does certain things in that morning and then has a certain lunch and has a certain evening routine and does all of that through her moon cycle and all the other things that are happening, you really are likely going to miss out on the magic that happens when you're more still, when you listen, and when you trust in the feminine flow and the feminine way. So this year, what has happened for me is like, I just decided I'm not going to work as hard. I'm not going to push, and I'm going to just trust even more. When I first started my business, going to zero and being on welfare and being freaking broke to getting $200,000, that happened pretty quickly. But I stayed working very hard and being at that $200,000 a year place, $250,000 a year thing for a while. And I was just frustrated with it. And finally this year I was like, you know what? I'm ready for $1 million year. I'm ready to be a millionaire in the sense of making $1 million plus every year. But I don't want to let go of my health or my well-being or my time and my space. In fact, I want more time and space. But I also want to make more impact and I want to reach more people. So I just want to share this because what I've learned in my own, and I can just share my own experience, is that the more that I've trusted in this feminine way of doing business, it doesn't mean that I don't show up for my business, because I'm freaking obsessed with my business. Hi, Karen. Hi, Sarmar. Hi, Jessica. I'm obsessed with my business. But what I've learned is that I am really obsessed with feeling good. I'm obsessed with feeling good. And for those of you, I see a lot of ladies that are signed up for Money Miracles. We start Money Miracles on Monday. And that's a whole journey. It's a spiritual revolution with your money, because it's learning to trust more. It's learning to open your heart more, to open your energy. And what I like to say about women is we don't think and grow rich. We feel and grow rich. And we have to listen to that moment by moment alignment. How does it feel in my body? You know, I just recorded a whole thing on alignment and listening to your body for my Miracle Worker Method ladies. Because when we start to listen to our body and how we feel is going to guide us into harmony. It's going to guide us into more. So I just felt my way through, instead of doing this thing I used to do, which was like, I'm going to get the $100,000 a month this month. And then I would go and push and burn myself out. The funny thing is, this month, I didn't even plan on it. And it just happened. It just happened. But it's also, the interesting thing is, I just focused on being in service. I focused on being in pleasure. And I did something I never did before, which was Harmonious Hustle virtual. And I didn't even want to have a virtual event because the last year's live event was so freaking amazing. And I was kind of bummed, like, virtual, no. But the funny thing is, we had the virtual event, and the virtual event was so freaking impactful. It was so impactful. We were crying. I mean, you know, it was about sexuality, sensuality. I mean, these are things that just, like, for women, working with other women, we have to do this work. And we did the things, and then we transitioned into Money Miracles, right? And it's just going to be, it's so beautiful. Thank you, Lulu. I haven't seen you forever. I love you. I miss visiting with you. So let's talk about this for a moment. That was the good news. That happened, and I didn't plan for it. I wasn't pushing for it. It's a very feminine way. But my wealth consciousness, I've been working on it for a long time. And money energetics, like, I'm obsessed with money energetics because I'm just watching the energetics of everything. Certain things can't exist in the same space. So having the fear and being attached and being like in this grabby, grippy energy cannot coexist with the allowing energetics. And the same thing with, like, having this energetic of competition while trying to be in an energetic of being connected to others. So everything is about our energy. And I know that people say that, and I know that you read that in books, but I'll tell you, it's like the layers of it and embodying that. So let's talk about for a moment what happened with my apartment, because this is funny. The $100,000 a month thing is just like, you know, it is what it is. I'm excited. I celebrated it. I knew that this happened already, and it's just like something I was just waiting to see, like, when do I want to share it publicly? Of course, I have my celebration sisters that I reached out to them and shared it with them, and we were like, yes, and all the things, and it was so exciting. But what I did was then I came to Austin, and Chanel and I had a great trip. I was fucking tired when I got here because we drove, and there was the one day of driving where I love driving in my car, but it's different driving a U-Haul to a Mercedes. So in the U-Haul with the Mercedes on the back, I had to drive slower, and it was longer, and it was annoying. But when we got here, I was like, all is well. So we go to my apartment. I was very specific about the apartment that I wanted to move to because I wanted to be in the country. I mean, I want to be 15 minutes from the city. Don't get me that twisted. Like, I like being close to things. But I still wanted to be, like, I wanted to try out this new thing of living out by the country. So I got this place where it was overlooking hill country, it's called, out here in Austin. There is a farm there. There are cows there, and I love cows. If you guys don't know this, I feel like cows are my spirit animal. I love them so much. And we get there, and I'm like, yes, there's cows. There's a goat right there. but we're only 15 minutes from downtown. So I'm like, this is perfect. We get into the apartment. Meanwhile, I hired these movers. So I'm like already like, have them paid and ready to go. But we get into the apartment and I see this, like, yeah, it's hill country. And all I see is green, 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 green. But there's a tower. And I was like, don't let this tower be a damn cell phone tower. So, in LA, everyone is freaking out about this 5G thing. Like, I don't know if you all know what is up with these 5G towers and these cell phone towers. They're horrible. And I came to Texas. The reason why I feel called to move from California was because I didn't feel called to live in the deep suburbs of like any of the California cities. But I want green. I want space. I want to feel like a slower, nourished life for a little bit of time. So when I see this tower, I was like, what the hell is that tower? So I write the people. And by this time, it's already like they're gone for the night. So I just start researching. I took a video of the thing and I sent it to my friend. I'm like, is this a 5G tower? Because I was like, don't tell me that I have all of this greenery, this farm, and there happens to be this damn tower right here. So I do some research and let me tell you what I find out. This apartment, this place is right on this tower. It is absolutely a cell phone tower. There's like multiple kinds of cell phone companies that have units on the tower, and it's only a third of a mile away. So if you do the research, what you'll find about these towers is there's been studies where women, especially women, get affected by this. But there are studies where when people are within a quarter mile of a cell phone tower, they have quadrupled cancer rates. And 7 out of the 8 people are women that get the cancer. So I was like, I cannot be here. So I write the people and I'm like, look, I know that I signed a lease with you, but I also came from California and I don't see any pictures of this on your website. So I'm like, I gotta go. Like, I gotta go, period. Like, I gotta leave. And they were just like, well, now you're stuck with the lease. You have to pay X amount of dollars. And I'm paying $9,000 to get out of my last lease. So I was like, no, we're not going to play this game. So I just started breaking down things to them. And I was like, you're going to let me out of this lease. So they did. They let me out of the lease. They just kept my money for this month. And that's fine because health is everything. But it's annoying, right? So it was annoying. So I had to like go into a mode of like, wow, I just moved. The movers moved everything in here because, look, I already hired the movers. So I had to just let them do the thing. And I didn't know what it was right away. So I had to like go through the motions that day. But I was in this moment of like, do I want to be like lazy about this? Like I literally was going through this motion. But there's a lesson in this. So stay with the lesson. I was like, all right, I only have a short-term lease here as it is because I'm just feeling Texas out right now. I could just say F it and not go out on the patio, because if you go out on a patio with a cell tower that close, it's like a microwave. Like if you have an EMF reader, it's literally like a microwave. So I was like, I could just stay here because the apartment is so cute and like it's so spacious and it's like big and all the things and I like it. And I could just stay here and not let it bother me too much, or I could really just like go through the inconvenience now and totally relax. And what I decided was just to go through the inconvenience now because I just need to trust the way that it felt in my body. My body responded, ew, as soon as I saw that tower. So if we're working with alignment, and this is like the stuff that I teach, when we're working with alignment, we have to feel into like, what does that feel like in my body? As soon as I walk into a restaurant, like some people know during my book tour, when I went to New York City, a group of us went to a restaurant in New York City. And I was very abrupt because there was a waiter that was being rude to us. And he was treating us like we're doing him a favor by sitting down and letting him serve us. And I was like, no. So I told the ladies, I was like, we're leaving. We're not sitting here. And because we were all like, I don't know, should we ask for the menu? And like, I don't know, he's a little angry. We can leave his angry self here. We're going to move on to another place where we're treated like actual customers that are choosing to eat here. So like anytime I doesn't feel good in my body, that's a like red flag to go somewhere else because it's fucking with your vibration. So nevertheless, we are here now at this hotel, at the hotel that, I like to stay at. and we're just hanging out. Hi, Jessica. Thank you. We're just getting to see what it even feels like in Texas. So my whole thing is this. There were things that went through my head like, fuck, this is becoming more of a pain in the ass. I should have just stayed in California. Like, what are all these towers here? I thought like this was supposed to be hill country. However, what I came back to, and some of you guys, some of you ladies may do this for your own, like, you know, inner exploration and what you're working with. What I realize and recognize is that sometimes we make choices, there's going to be things that are inconvenient, and it's going to be triggering. It's going to be triggering. There's money that's going to have to be spent. There's work that's going to have to be done. There's some sweat that's going to have to happen. But if you stay with it, it's going to be for the better. So then I went into the, well, damn, the universe must have an upgrade happening for me. The universe has an upgrade about to happen for me. So then I went into that space, and today we were looking at places that just had better views. Like one of the places had a better view. Chanel, we have to go to dinner, huh? Dinner. One of the places had a better view. So I was like, all right, there's a better view happening. There's better things that are going to happen. So that's that. So Sarmar says, Mars and Mercury are making their presence known. Glad you stay centered. Yes. And actually, my astrologer said that Mercury retrograde wasn't going to affect me. But who knows? Because here's what I was going to say about this in the law of oneness, right? So if we know about the law of oneness, basically everything is connected. Everything just is. There is no good or bad. So, you know, when things are happening, they're unfolding. Like there's just an unfolding that's happening. And as there's an unfolding that's happening, then we just have to trust in that. And we just pay attention to the subtle hints of where am I being guided? So when that happened and I decided to go through the work of making the change, that's what I literally had to call on. I was just like, okay, so now this is unfolding. What's unfolding for me? Why is this happening for me? Because I'm seeing how that's unfolding. So that was that's going on. I will update you, because I've had friends that are like, send me your address. I want to send you flowers. Send me this. I'm like, there's no address. Like right now, I am not staying at that place. So it's funny because now I'm just like, you know, I have a couple options and I'm weighing like which one do I like better. This also lets me play with the idea that, like, I always say I'm nomadic, but I'm not this nomadic. I like to have an actual place. That's my house. But I do like bopping around. Like, I want to go to Bali for a month. I want to do these different things. So it's just funny. It's funny how you get what you ask for in your own little ways. So my friends, I will leave you with that. But what I want to just remind you is Money Miracles starts on Monday. So if you are already signed up for Money Miracles, then make your way over to that Money Miracle group and introduce yourself. Let us know why you're there, because here's the deal. These communities are everything, and you got to show up and do the things. The other thing is, if you're someone that's like, I need to be doing some of this work, then reach out and get on the waiting list for the next round. Because here's the deal. Things just don't happen like this, right? Like, somebody in the hallway. Things don't just happen like this. I know it's easy for people to look at it and be like, oh, Nicole does this, Nicole does that. Nicole has been putting in the work for a long time, and Nicole takes big risk, and Nicole makes big investments in herself. And I wouldn't be where I am today, mentally, emotionally, physically, financially, if I didn't do those things. So when I talk to someone that's like, I don't want to make an investment in myself, okay, well, stay where you're at. Like, we have to all make investments, whether we're investing our energy, we're investing our time, whether we're investing our money. Like, we're all constantly making investments because we have to grow. And the old paradigm would say, go to college and then you're set. But now we're waking up to the truth that that's actually not true. That's why I dropped out of college very quickly. And I only went to school to 8th grade. But I make more money than a lot of people that did all the things because I wasn't domesticated, conditioned to believe that that is the way. I started exploring other ways, and I started questioning things, and I started connecting with people that were making a lot of money online. And I was like, oh, there's these whole other ways, and we don't have to do it this way. And I don't have to be an attorney or a doctor or a surgeon to be able to make a lot of money. Like, I get to just be myself. That's the fucking amazing thing. I get to just be myself. And so do you, if that's what you're called to do. But it's not going to be something that you just turn on instantly. There's a level of unlearning. There's the energy of like getting into the rooms, getting into the groups, getting into the spaces with the mentors, with the coaches, because that's what it is. I also will share this, that it was just 5 years ago that I was in a group. It was Marie Forleo's B-School group. I'll just say that I was in that group, and it was an investment that I couldn't afford. And I got into that group and I was shocked. Like, I literally was shocked by how much money people were making online. I was like, people are making this much money online? Like, just doing this? Just like putting together courses, putting together programs, showing up on Zoom calls. Like, this makes you that much money? Because I was under the impression that, like, with my background, I would never be able to make a lot of money. Like, that's what I really believed. And because of my background and certain people just being so weird, like, about like their own limiting beliefs, like, oh, I feel for you. Oh, I'm sorry all those things happened to you. And like treating me like I was broken, treating me like something was wrong with me. Meanwhile, life was just preparing me for my journey. And that's like what happened. But you may be in that place where you feel like something that happened to you in the past makes you broken. Something that happened to you in the past makes you not good enough, not deserving, not worthy. And I just want to remind you that we're all worthy. We're all deserving. And so we really don't have to work on being more worthy. We're already worthy. What we have to work on is understanding how deserving we are. We have to work on understanding that we deserve the best in life. And that is something that we have to train ourselves in. So like, rather than training yourself in a bunch of freaking algebra and shit that you don't want to ever learn, what if you just focus on training yourself to become more deserving and understanding how worthy you are? Your life would radically change. And I want to tell you this. You guys might not know this. This is really funny. Back in 2016, I went to this ayahuasca retreat center. And when I went there, it was great. It was interesting, right? When I went there, I met some women that told me, and this was out of their own best interest and really out of their own limitations. But there was a woman that I really admired there because she was so sweet and she was older. And I really liked her. And she was like, you know, I think that you should go to college. I think you should go back to college and get your degree because it's just going to do better things for you. And because I liked her and I admired her and she was older than me, she got in my head. Because that was before I was really like sovereign and knowing to trust what I felt. I thought other people still knew the answers for me. So she told me that, and guess what I did? I went back to California. I flew home from Costa Rica, went back to California, and I started looking at Santa Monica Community College, okay? So I started looking at Santa Monica Community College, and I thought, well, I better get my psychology degree because I obviously want to be successful, and I want to make money, and I want to do this work. So I went to go try to get my degree, and here's the thing that I found out, that I had to pay thousands of dollars, and I had to take math. I hate math. I hate math. There's no freaking need for me to ever learn how to do algebra or geometry or any of that bullshit. Like, no, it's not something I'm good at. It actually stresses me out. There's good stress of learning new things, and there's bad stress of learning new things. And what I realized then is I had to have this moment of like coming to Jesus with myself. I was like, am I willing? Shanna says she hates math. Who hates math here? Because it's safe to hate math. Not everyone's meant to be good at math. We all have different gifts. And this is what school doesn't let us accept. So stay with me here. I go there and I start adding up all the things. They're like, you know, it's $750 for this, it's $1,000 for that. And I'm just like, so what you're saying to me is I got to pay thousands of dollars and give lots of my time. That's going to take me away from growing my business to do math? So someone else can say that I'm good enough? So I just realized in that time, I had to make a moment of like realizing that I just got hijacked into someone else's dream and belief. And I thought that I had to like go through school and then try to transfer to UCLA to be good enough. And I realized I'm done with that shit. Hi, Star. All of the people that hate math are now, uniting here. And look, if you love math, that's okay. But I'm actually a writer, and I'm more like a deep thinker in that way, which is not linear. So math is like, oh my goodness. So Chanel, my daughter, we're actually doing unschooling right now because I'm like, we can't do both of these things. She doesn't thrive on this kind of learning through the computer, and I actually don't believe in it. I believe that like school this way is unhealthy. So, there's a whole other topic. But I actually love learning. I love learning. So here's the deal. And Karen says, I like school. I did a degree in engineering and law, and I hated math and didn't feel I was good at it. So see, it all depends. Like if you have to go to school and school is for you, do it. So I'm not saying don't go to school. But for me, I almost did something because someone else told me that I should do it and that it would be better for me. And I wouldn't be where I am today. It would have been a distraction. So now I preach the choir for those people that have been kicked out of school, didn't go to school, couldn't afford school, like all the things. Like I'm just that person for those people now. But we all have different backgrounds, and I have clients that have their PhD even. But see, even the clients that have their PhD, they have a PhD in psychiatry or psychology or something like that, and then they want to be a coach. We have to do a tremendous unlearning around them doing this hourly charging, because the hourly charging will get you if you're a coach. Because for me, if I did hourly coaching, I would be not making as much money, but also I wouldn't be making the same impact, because I'm not looking to work with someone on an hourly basis where we look at hour to hour. We're looking at value. We're looking at transformation. We're looking at overall results, which we can't really quantify. So that's a whole other topic for another day. But I want you to just see how you have to just trust the process and work it. So that was in 2016. Now we're in 2020, and now my life is a lot different. My finances are hella different. But also what I believe about life is just different. What I believe about life and what I believe about what's possible for me, what I believe about like why I have to do the things I have to do, what I believe about women being called to rise at this specific time in life, all of these things are very important. And they all have changed and flowed, and it's all been like really, I say it's because of my spiritual work that I've done. So my friends, and of course my business mentors that have been amazing. So I want to just send you so much love. Thank you for listening. And moral of the story is, don't stay next to a cell tower. If you see one next to your apartment, like I've seen one, let's see if it lets me add a photo. Oh no, I was like, can I add a photo to you guys? Because I want to show you what the cell tower looked like. Oh my goodness, it was just too funny. It was funny, but also sad. Like I feel for the people that are living there and they don't know. Because we went to look at another place today and we saw another cell tower, and I was like, what is all these cell towers in Austin doing? Like there's so many, but humans keep wanting faster and faster internet. We don't realize what that is like really doing to our health, because it's still so new, and we're just like faster, closer. And we don't realize what that's doing for us. We don't realize what it's doing to our nervous system, to our immune systems, to our endocrine systems. And we have to think about these things and be mindful. Yes, Karen, I do use a cell phone, but here's the deal. I use a cell phone as needed. I don't have AirPods. And I always joke that I feel like I look poor because people with AirPods just look more put together. There's different EMF levels that come out of every single thing. So a cell phone tower that is meant to send the waves for everyone that needs a cell phone is so much different than your cell phone. So things that I do, I don't sleep with my cell phone in my same bedroom. I put my cell phone on airplane mode. I do all these things to protect myself, but at the end of the day, we are surrounded by these things, unless we're living out in the middle of nowhere and are like, wanting to have an area of land, which today I said, I'm about to buy some land because this is just, I feel for all the people that have properties and they're just popping these things up everywhere. So there's different variables. So if you live within a half a mile of one, it's very dangerous. Like if you're living within a half a mile and you're a woman, it actually impacts you more. So there's psychiatric effects. There's so many things that happen. And yeah, I have to fight with my daughter over this stuff. When I say fight, like she just doesn't agree. We're not fighting over it, but we're heavily disagreeing because, she's 15 and she wants to do AirPods. She wants to do sleeping with the laser lights and having her cell phone and laptop and all the things. And I'm like, no, turn that stuff off when you're sleeping. So
I do.
Now she's getting a little bit more mindful. And now after seeing the cell phone towers and seeing how I freaked out, I'm like, no, we're not doing this. So I don't worry about that. Yeah, so it's interesting because people that actually work in those fields, you know, they have different beliefs. But you look at an EMF thing. So you guys can go and if anyone's curious about this, let me tell you how I educated myself. Because I don't want to tell you what to believe. At the end of the day, you have to believe your own thing by doing your own research. And that's what I did. When I saw the cell tower thing, I was like, how do I feel about this? And then I was like, all right, I have to do my own research. Let me see what I feel. So what I did was pull up a bunch of studies. I looked at a bunch of videos, and there's actually people that had cell phone towers put up in their neighborhoods, and they take an EMF reader and they go by the microwave and they turn it on and they watch it like just start doing all the things. And then they go outside where the cell tower is. They just go on their balcony and it starts blowing up. So sitting outside is very unhealthy. And you can buy like a Tesla cube my friend sent me, but then like that has its own things. That has its own effects. So, you know, do what you feel called. We all get to live our lives in the ways that we want. For me, because I'm sensitive to it and now I'm paying attention, I was like, I just can't be at ease. So I was just like, it feels better for me to move. So that's that. But my friends, I am sending you so much love. Thanks for listening. Thanks for laughing with me. And for those of you that are doing Money Miracles, we begin on Monday. So I'm looking forward to that journey. It's a spiritual revolution around money. One thing I will share is this. When I was looking at women to like act as evidence for me, there's so many women that inspired me, of course. But what I didn't see were women that had the trauma that I had and that had the background that I had. So I was like, they just don't get it. And not to say that they don't. It was just that it wasn't just mindset for me. For me, it was a deeper healing that I had to experience and a deeper level of healing and having my body attuned to safety in a really beautiful way. So that was something I had to go on a long journey to figure that out. And in Money Miracles, we work through that. It's really a journey into divinity and spiritual abundance and understanding that you're deserving because you're already born worthy. I can't make you any more worthy. You are worthy, period. But I have to take you on a journey to understanding what you're really made of so that you can remember these things, right? And I just had Rose Nunez who DM'd me. She was in one of my live groups before and she was like, I just got the bonus call for Money Miracles and I was crying already 10 minutes in. And she says, I thought that it wasn't going to be as powerful because it's digital and it's recorded. But she was like, now I'm glad that I joined. And I want you all to know that I used to have that same worry about creating the course. I was like, should I create this digital course? Like, is it going to be as powerful as when I work with women live? But what I found is that it's actually more powerful in some ways. Here's why. Hi, Rose. It's so powerful because when we put it together the first round, the women were just having like breakthrough. And I was like, okay, it actually is true. It does work. It is powerful. Even though it's not live. But there's the collective energy in the group. And the collective energy is just, it is what it is. The other thing is you get to listen to the program again and again and again because it's recorded. And I bring the energy. You feel the energy in there. Today I was recording a module for another program and my daughter was like, I thought you were talking to the people. I thought they were actually on there. And I'm like, they're not, but I treat them like they are because I'm showing up in that energy of like, I'm with them in my mind. I'm with them in consciousness. I'm creating it for them. I'm channeling it for that. So the other thing is that not only is it lifetime access, the course keeps growing. Because it keeps growing, as I keep adding new things, you get to keep watching, even if you signed up for it before. So if it was a live program that we just did and then it ended, it would just be done. It would just be over. But because of this, we go through the journey. You get to have the energy. You get the sisterhood and all the things. And we have live coaching calls where we actually shake our bodies and we dance and we do the activations and the meditation. So there is a live component. So I think it's the best of all worlds. But you also get to have the course and it just keeps growing with you. And the price point is very affordable. Affordable is relative. But for the everyday person, I look at it like this. When I was super poor, I still managed to pay a payment plan of a $2,000 program. This program's under $2,000, so I'm always like, everyone can do it. If I could do it at that time, everyone could. It's just believing that. So my friends, I have to run. I'm sending you so much love. I will talk to you soon. And for those of you on Money Miracles, I will see you on Monday. If you're curious about getting on the list for Money Miracles, reach out to me, DM me, and we can chat. Bye, friends. Mwah.